recording is in progress. Let me introduce myself. First of all, my name is Antonio Rivas. At this moment, I'm the Manager Director of the Federation. And I'm so happy to interview Kelly because she's a well-known member of our Federation. And she has been doing some wonderful policy work around the world. So please, Kelly, introduce yourself. Give us a few words about your background. Tell us something about you. And then we'll talk about the commission and all these things.
Well, it's great to meet you, Antonio. Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly Salasin, and I was first introduced to the Federation when I was hired in 2010 to work in the international office, which at the time was in Brattleboro, Vermont. And I was the assistant to the director, then Eileen Todd. And I helped her manage the annual meetings abroad and began representing Federation EIL at the United Nations for the Commission on the Status of Women. And primarily for the Federation, I worked in communication. So the website, the newsletter, social media platforms. So I've always been interested, as I'm a lifelong educator as well and a writer. So those worlds really merged well for me in the Federation.
Let's go to the point. Tell us about the commission. You have been there. How was the ambiance? What was the messages? What can you tell us so we can enrich our performance around all members?
Yeah. My first meeting was in 2012. And at that time we had somebody in New York City that represented the Federation, Connie Cross, and she's since passed away. But so I've been going for a long time to this same meeting every year. The last 2 years, it was online. So this is the first year since, I guess, last 2021, 22. This is the first year since 2020 that the meeting's been in person. So that was different right off. The enrollment was very high. There was a lot of enthusiasm. This particular year, we were looking at technology, particularly the internet. And there's a sense that there's a real opportunity right now to prioritize equality, equity, gender equity, equity all around, inclusion with intergovernment participation, because that hasn't happened yet, and it's a brand new frontier. So there was a lot of energy. Many countries sent many ministers, very large delegations, a lot of enthusiasm around being able to shape this frontier that unfortunately is mirroring the gender inequities we see in society at this point.
How can the Federation contribute to this progress? How can we do in our daily work? What would be your message to the members at this point regarding this topic?
Yeah, well, that's a question I asked myself a lot when I was working in the office and going to the United Nations. I think I have to go to the roots of the experiment when I think about this and the idea that we're promoting peace, right, through intercultural exchange and the United Nations mission of supporting peace among nations. So when I think of those two together, I think of the importance of inclusion, including as many different voices at a table whenever we're addressing any problem or having any experience. And I guess that's where I see the Federation come in, because they have always been prioritizing connections all around the world, not just one part of the world. In terms of the Federation and this particular commission on digital rights, I'm not sure, because I haven't been in the office, I'm not sure what is happening in the Federation in terms of anything online, but just the idea of looking at every table, whether it's the directors, the administration, the staff, the participants, and seeing that there's a broad array of representation from all different walks of life, whether that is different parts of the world, whether that is a gender balance, whether that is including people with disabilities, including people with different religions, races, identifications. I think that is central to peace, and I hope the Federation continues to do that beautiful work that they're already doing in that regard.
do you think there are hope? I mean, do we have, is it moving on forward? Do we progress in this kind of topic? So do you think we are not getting anywhere, or what's your impression after the commission?
Well, I'm sorry to say that each time I go back, gender equity is pushed further away. I think right now they're saying 280 years, which is dramatically further than it was when I went right before COVID. But I think, one thing I noticed this year, there are a lot of young people, which is such a positive sign. And that's, another key part of the experiment programs, young people, and putting them front and center. But I noticed that a lot of the young people were pretty disheartened. And I had a lot of conversations, a lot of one-on-one conversations. And again, just like the idea of the Federation, where you're bringing people together in intimate situations, that's what it's like to be at the UN. And I was able to point out to these young women the ways that they were making a difference, and that we are making a difference, and that we are waking up to so many of the inequities, which is, it's a hard time. It's a hard time around the world. But I think of places like the United Nations and the organization Federation EIL as places holding a different kind of center of saying there can be something different. And that gives hope. And I saw that in the young women that I spoke with. And one of the interesting things, when people, usually older people, will ask me what organization I'm from, and I tell them almost everybody has heard, I know someone who did a program way back when, or I did something, or my kid did something. And there's a real sense of honor of the program. And for the younger women who didn't know about Federation EIL or the experiment, they were impressed with the legacy, how long this organization has been doing this work. So, somebody emphasized that. She's like, oh, you're part of a legacy organization.
Yeah, that's what I feel as well. If you had a message, one single message for the young people we are working with this very year, this summer, all the programs that from Germany, from Spain, from Ireland, UK, Ecuador, Japan, Mexico, Italy, we are moving so many people, and we are planning all these many programs. And you had one message for them, for these young people regarding equality, gender. What would be your message, your piece of advice? Your very little thing, but please do not forget about this. What would be?
I would say that your voice matters. It really does.
Your voice matters. Okay. So this is it. Your voice matters to us. So that's why we wanted to record it. And thank you so much for representing the Federation. And what's next for you? What's gonna happen next year? What's you have in your mind?
Well, one of the interesting things is that they're doing a midpoint check-in for the Sustainable Development Goals and the Commission on the Status of Women, and that was announced while I was there. So that's in September. I don't usually go back more than once a year, but maybe I would go back for this. I feel really passionate. Antonio, what drew me to the United Nations was that my grandmother dreamed of working there. She went to school just before World War II. Is that right? And after, when the United Nations was formed, she dreamed of working there, and she never got to realize that dream. And so when I saw that the Federation was a member through ECOSOC, I said, wow, what a way to honor that legacy.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
So please do, and keep us informed. Okay.
Yeah, and good luck. Good luck. I love how you're taking it slow and working to understand the Federation as a whole and its roots. And it is something that it really does take time. And it's the same way at the United Nations with the Commission on the Status of Women. Other years we've brought people from SIT or other places, or in the last couple of years where it's been online, we've had members from around the world come from offices around the world, Federation offices. And it's very overwhelming, and there's so much going on. You just have to give yourself time to assimilate. So I honor your process.
Thank you. I honor yours. Thank you so much. And we'll keep on talking maybe in a few months, or I don't know when, but surely next time. Thank you.
It was great to meet you. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you. Bye.